Hello again and welcome to International Scale Modeler. Today's review is going to be of one of the cheap home bargain ones I've got recently from a shop in the UK. Now this is going to be of the Revell 172 F-4F Phantom 2 in a very strange livery indeed, very bright. So without further ado, here's the review. This is the Revell 172 F-4F Phantom 2. Now this was I think £5, which is equivalent to what, $7.50. So it's ridiculously cheap. There's the box artwork. Okay, very colourful indeed. Else on the box, very tiny bit about the Phantom, and a little bit of pictures of the model built up. Inside the box, this is a Revell skill level 3. Unfortunately, it's one of the horrible Revell boxes. They're all like this. I don't think Revell have just caught on yet about how people like their boxes. We have one bag with all the sprues in. And this is a very light grey colour. Now, I've never built this aircraft in any way, shape or form, so I don't know what it's supposed to be like, but the way it is, it's built, the fuselage is in two halves, top to bottom, and in the middle as well, from cockpit onwards, so it's in several different parts. The detail, the level of detail is actually not too bad, you know. That's recessed panel lines. This is a 172, which once built up is going to be about that big, so that's not a bad size. It just goes to show how big these modern jets are. But the level of detail is not too bad on the fuselage. It's going to be very hard to pick up on this camera. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick that up at all, actually, because of the colour of the plastic. It's probably just getting white out at the moment, but not bad at all. There's quite a bit of flash on pretty much all the parts, and where there's no flash there is burring. Just to give you an idea, see right here, look, it's quite a big bit of flash right there, and that's pretty indicative all over that sprue. The engine nozzles, no, they're not bad actually. You know, for the size, they're not brilliant, but they're not amazing, but they're okay. And the one piece as well, so they're going to slot in. One thing I do like, funny little kit, cheap £5 kit like this, but that's actually got weighted wheels, so that's a win for me. If you guys have watched all my vids, then you know that I'm a big fan of weighted wheels. You've got an extra fuel tank there as well. You know, there's not a bad level of detail for. I mean, you've got to remember these Revell kits I've picked up are seriously cheap. You know, they're not the normal price, obviously, but you can see there. So I don't know if you're all getting white out. I can't see it myself for the angle. There's got a lot of detail. You know, quite fine detail in there. The actual the engraving itself does seem to be in scale as well. It's very light engraving, which is nice to see. You tend to find 172, a lot of the recessed stuff is way too big for the scale of the aircraft. But the cockpit, the tub, not brilliant at all. There are some lumps and bumps in there you could pick out, but it's not particularly great. But you know, you do the best job you can with that, I would imagine. Also, we've got an errant nose there. Okay, so anyway, that's come off somewhere. And the final sprue, we've got a couple of rockets And we've got the consoles. Again, it's got detail, but it's very, very tiny. It's going to be quite hard to pick out as well. But apart from that, the tail fins are, you know, again, there's a good level of recessed panel lines and everything on there, as you can see, hopefully. Yeah, I mean the nose itself, again, the actual nose, this bit here, which will fit onto this part here, like so, ta-da. I've got to say the engraving is a lot softer on there than it is on the main fuselage. So I reckon the moulds might be a little bit worn in that place, but this main, yeah, it's definitely softer. Not by a great deal, but you can just notice it. Again, there's a lot of burring on this sprue as well, and flash. So there's going to be a bit of work with the scraping the old scalpel over that, and the sander. Again, looks like it'll build up reasonably quickly. There's not too many parts, 3 sprues. I don't know if it says how many parts are on here. And yet, no, it doesn't. But it can't be much over 100, if that. So I guess you know, the seats aren't bad, and you've actually got the ejection pulls for the seats there. You see, that's quite nice. Yeah, so not bad. 3 sprues, reasonably decent plastic. Instructions, Revell, not a lot on the Phantom. There's hardly any information at all. The instructions themselves are all going to be Revell call out for the paint as per normal. Sprue maps are numbered again, which is very good indeed. It means you can take everything off, get it all nice and pristine, and then stick it together, which is what I like to do when you've got the sprue maps numbered, just to avoid any confusion. There's actually looks like there's cockpit decals for the cockpit, which we'll have a look at when we get inside. The ejection seats themselves tend to, you've got to make them up. They actually look quite not bad at all. If you have a look at the level of detail on there, 172, that's not bad. And as you go through the details, again, it's all done in blocks. The cockpit's done, then the front part of it, this part is all put together, sandwiched together, and then the rear part is put together, and then the wings added, and then the nose cone, the nose area. So it goes together quite well. It's got your angles on there and your degrees for the anhedral or dihedral. I think it's an anhedral on there. And obviously legs on last and everything, which is nice to see. Oh, then you've got all your hard points, and you've got your rockets and your fuel tanks and everything. So that can come fully loaded, so I wouldn't imagine that's probably not the only scheme available, because that looks like a showcraft to me. We'll have a look when we get to the decals, when we get to the back of the... So we have the Phantom 2, the Jubiläummaschine 40 Jahr JG7 Richterfetten in Whitman 1999. Sorry, you German subscribers, Hamilcar in particular, if I've ruined your language there, I do apologise. But that is the model that's shown on the box. Now, I doubt if that would have any armament. I've got to say, that looks more like a showbird than an actual active fighter, because it wouldn't be very camouflaged. There is a camouflage version. Unfortunately, with Revell, it's all black and white, so you can't really tell the colours unless you do a bit of research online. But that's actually got, let's have a look, we've got C, O and N on Revell's paint chart. So that's, C is steel, O is matte grey, and N is another grey. So you've got a pattern on here, which is 2 different tones of grey, which is quite a different pattern actually. That's quite, you know, F-35ish sort of thing. So that's quite a different pattern. That's quite funky. I would imagine you'd blend those two in instead of being a hard camo. but again, I think you'd have to get your references right for that one. And that's got a large centerline fuel tank on it, as well as looks like some laser guidance there. I definitely think the other one's a Showbird. I can't see it not being, with all the wild decals. Look forward to seeing those decals on there. Sorry, that one is from, I'm just going to ruin the German language again, J.G. Mulders from Newburgh, Donau, 1995. So that, I reckon that's an active aircraft. Sorry guys, I'm just going to squeeze this in. So this will be squeezed in somewhere. I forgot to do the glass, so I'm just going to have a quick look. The glass itself is, obviously it's a bit thick where it's 172. Scale wise, it's a bit bumpy and lumpy. You might want to, because there's no real any detail on there on these main parts, you just might want to give that a good buffing and polishing. There's actually a lot of flash on the glass parts itself, as you can see up here and here and here, and that's actually flash. It's not particularly clear, the glass. It's not brilliant. I mean, you might want to have to, if you're going to make this a really nice model, I think you're going to have to do a bit of work on that just to get it up to A1, because I don't think it's good enough as it is. So you need your Tamiya compounds and all your micro mesh cloths or whatever you use. But yeah, so that's the glass. So I'll hand you back to the video. The decals themselves, right, you do get the black spikes here and the red around the nose in decal form, and you've got a big decal there, which I would imagine would be for the underside. So that's definitely a Showbird then. The rest of the decals, they all do appear to be in register. Obviously, being 172, you can't read the writing on the small pieces. The cockpit decals are very basic, but might save you doing colouring it up yourself. Apart from that, they all seem to be in register. Nothing seems to be out. They're not too shiny. They're quite matte actually. I would imagine, being a Showbird, that's going to be more of a satin finish that you're going to need to do on there as well. But as you can see, nice set of decals. Sorry. But apart from that, so that seems to be like a model. It's going to need a bit of work with the deburring and the flash and everything. But that colour scheme is going to be a challenge. I wouldn't imagine you do too much weathering on that, because it's going to be a Showbird, so it's going to look nice and new and shiny. You may just want to go off black on that and just do a tyre black or something like that, which tends to get you weathering up much nicer. But that is the Revell 172 F-4F Phantom 2. Alright, until next time, take care. Bye bye.